everybody. Good evening to you. How are you? Hope you're having a lovely day. So CHANTAL just released another video vlog of sorts, and this one was more than a little odd. Really odd. The last part of the vlog just kind of threw me for a loop. I'm like, what is this doing here? Because she released the vlog of recent footage, and at the end of the video, she tacked on footage that was over 2 years old, showing footage of the first time she went to Kuwait. But you know what, CHANTAL? I am really glad you did that. I'm really glad you did that, because anybody that wants to know if Kuwait has been good for her, if it's been good for her health, if it's been good for her weight, they can look at the front part of the vlog and see how she looks compared to how she looked when she first went to Kuwait for the first time. Now, I'm not blaming Kuwait for her weight gain. It's entirely her responsibility. But watching the vlog, when I got to the part where she showed the vlog from 2 years ago when she got on the plane, I was like, holy smokes, what a difference just a couple of years can make in a person's life. But we'll get into that, as well as talking about her going to therapy. In the newest vlog, CHANTAL revealed that she went to a therapy session, and she had some interesting things to say about that, and I've got comments on that. Before we get into that, though, let's get into all the Twitter stuff, because there's cool stuff that I want to show you on Twitter, some interesting tidbits. I hope you guys liked the last react that I did, the stuff that I included, including the Avi Kaplan. I hope I'm saying his name right. He's such a great musician. I did post his YouTube channel in the description of the video, plus I pinned it in the comments for anybody who wants to check him out. And I'm also thinking about, and I want to get you guys' input on this, just for fun, just to expose you guys to more interesting, positive things on YouTube. I can look around and find really positive channels with creative content, fun content, and make videos showcasing all that stuff. And of course, include links to give credit to all the people that made the content, just to give you guys more areas of YouTube to enjoy. What do you think? I'm a fan and a lover of all different kinds of content. I really love the cafe vlogs, where they show people making drinks, really creative cafe style drinks. I like all different kinds of stuff. I like music videos. I like art videos. I just like creative, funny stuff. I like peaceful stuff. And I really like to share some of that with you guys. So sometimes you do a video, it's not about monetization. It's about, I just want to share things with people. And you never know, you might see something in one of those videos that you're like, you know, I think I really like that, and I want to sub up to that person's channel, and it might open up a whole new world for you. So what do you think? You think that that might be something you guys are interested in? Let me know. In the meantime, let's mosey on over to Twitter and see what's going on with that. Okay, so I think I've got, oh, yep, I'm coming to class with my notes, and they're all ready to go. So let's start here from Miss Anthropope Lulu, saying, rewatching Sideshow Blob's first arrival in Kuwait. I honestly think Salah thought he was getting the chick to the right. He pans the camera that way as SSB covers her blank fishing face and laughs in embarrassment. So this is from the video that she did today. She included this footage of her showing up in Kuwait, and Salah is waiting for her at the airport, and she's walking through the airport, and look at her. Like, she is laughing. She is so laughing. And if you want my opinion about why she was laughing, because all that time, I feel she lied to him about what she looked like. Salah even said that she lied about how tall she was, that she was shorter than what she portrayed to him. But she made sure to hide her physical self, what she looked like, until that moment when she showed up at the airport. What's interesting is I remember Chantal did a stream well before Salah and talking about romance scammers. And she even said, why would a guy be interested in me? They're probably a romance scammer. But in this instance, I think she knows he's a romance scammer, but she made sure to turn the tables on him by, giving up the villa, giving up her roommate, giving up her cats, giving up everything, packing a bag and going on over there and putting him in a position where he could not get rid of her. Chantal did once say, I just have to get into his house. So knowing that Salah is a romance scammer, knowing the high probability that he might just be scamming her from afar and take the money and run, she made sure to run over there and get to him before he could do that. So here she is walking to the airport. She's covering her face like she's all giggling. You know why she's giggling? She's thinking, ha ha, sucker, gotcha. I got you, and now what's she gonna do? I not only got into your house, I got into your country. What's she gonna do about it? And Salah, you should have learned, sir. You should have learned. When she came to see you that first time for a few months and you got a good sense about her, you should have sent her packing and not invited her back. But you were just too greedy, weren't you? You let that greed take over. You wanted the free and easy life. Well, you got the easy life, but it wasn't free, was it? Was it worth the hassle? Was the juice worth the squeeze? I don't think so. But now she's gotten you used to not working and her paying the bills. And that's exactly where she wanted you. She wanted you to get used to that free and easy life, get you addicted to it, to where you can't get away from it. Now that you're used to it, you don't want to give it up. Even though being around her is a pain in the butt and she is a nightmare to deal with, you still won't give it up. And I think it's because you're afraid that if you hop off the Foodie Beauty train, the moment you hop off of it and say goodbye, somebody else is going to hop on and get that money and not you. Or the moment you hop off, she's going to make a ton of money and you won't have access to it. So your greed is keeping you prisoner, sir. But one thing you should know, this woman, she's lost her fire. She's not interested in making money anymore. She's not interested in being creative or having a solid work ethic. So you hop off that train, you're really not losing anything. You might be gaining your sanity back, but you're not losing the money because there's no money to be had. But anyway, there she is walking to the airport. She's giggling. Booger, ma'am, come here. She just has an obsession with cabinets today. Come here. What are you doing? You're not hungry. Come here. I fed her. Booger has an obsession with opening cabinets. I don't know why. I don't understand it. All right, moving on to, from Hidden Truths, Foodie Beauty. Something tells me that she wasn't 100% truthful in her mental health doctor, because if she was, she would see another side of Chantal, the one YouTube sees, the blasphemy, racist, bigotry, and hateful side. Had she been truthful, the therapist would have diagnosed her. Well, I was actually watching FFG, and there were a couple of people in FFG's chat that they brought out a very important point. Once they wrote that, I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. So if Chantal did go to a therapist for real, and it's not a lie, the first visit to a therapist, it's basically an assessment. They're just checking you out. They're getting a feel for you. Like they're just trying to get a little bit of information about who you are so they know how to talk to you and the treatment and all that. So it was just an assessment. Treatment and therapy, you can't treat it as a one and done. That's not how it works. You have to go to therapy regularly. You got to talk to your therapist regularly, and you have to listen to what they have to say. You can't close off your ears and just talk at them and then not listen in return. So she went to therapy, allegedly. Do I believe she went to therapy? No. And something, I just can't shake this feeling, y'all. I have a feeling that the therapy has, it could be for a couple of reasons. So let's just put the reasons on the table and let me see what y'all think. Reason number one, she did the PayPal scam. She ripped people off to get people to forget that she's a scammer. She went to the hospital and said she was really, really sick. First, she waited a couple of days, to let the heat die down. Then she went to the hospital, said she was really, really sick. Now she's going to therapy. She's doing all this, in my opinion, as perhaps a deflection point. Look over here. Don't look over there. Look over here at me being sick. I'm unhealthy and I'm getting my health together. I'm going to therapy. But don't look over here to the right where I scammed you and I lied to you outright. Forget all about that. Forget about my wrongdoing. Focus on worrying about me and being stressed out about me. Chantal is a master of it, about doing wrong and getting away with it. And people let her get away with it. Nobody on her side holds her accountable. Not her family, not her beezers, not anybody. But let's see. Is this a video clip? Hold on. Let me see what's going on here. Let's watch the clip courtesy of Hidden Truths.
Therapist was very on point. Just by little things I would tell her about my story, like recent story, sort of the past few years.
Already we're starting out badly. Did y'all just spot what she just said? What was wrong with it? Her calling it her story. Everything is a story for Chantal. And we all know how stories go. Stories are mainly made up. And if you're making things up, you're not being truthful. If you go to therapy, that's when you want to be the most truthful. You don't want to lie about anything. You don't want to lie about yourself. You don't want to lie about what's wrong, because if you lie, if you hide things, how can you possibly get the help and the advice that you need? And trust me, she needs a lot of it. But how is that going to happen if she's covering things up and she's lying all the time? So she's starting out saying, oh, I told her my story. It sounds like you lied to that person, Chantal. You told them your version of the truth versus the truth. And if you told them your version of the truth, you're never going to get better, ever.
She talked about grief, grieving things that I still haven't really grieved. Parts of me who I was. Not necessarily a bad thing, grieving, but sometimes when there's change, whether it's good or bad, you grieve parts of things that are changing.
Grieve parts.
Like a recent story, sort of the past few years. She talked about grief, grieving things that I still haven't really grieved. Parts of me who I was. Not necessarily a
parts of you that you were. What parts of you have changed besides your outside, like your body size? What parts of you internally have changed for the better? You have not grown up. You've not matured. You've not been enlightened. You don't really have a conscience. You have no moral compass. Your well of being shameless has no bottom. I mean, what exactly about you has changed, Chantal?
a bad thing, grieving, but sometimes when there's
no sense of empathy,
change, whether it's good or bad.
Okay, I think we've already seen that, but if she just goes to therapy one time, it's not going to help. You got to commit to therapy. And I'm just throwing this on the table. I don't know if this is pertinent, but if it is, I'm just throwing it out there. I am wondering that if she is indeed trying to get Salah over here to Canada, because there's been rumors and whispers about that, would part of the process be that he's got to have an evaluation and so does she, and that's why she did it? I mean, like I said, I had an ex-husband, and I mean, I know that different countries have different rules and regulations and so forth. My ex-husband, my second one, coming from Mexico City, when he went to go for his green card, he had to have blood tests and physicals and all of that. I mean, they went the distance with him. So I'm wondering If part of the approval process, does that mean there has to be an evaluation for her and him, or her? I don't know. Just a curious thought. All right, moving on to Mash. Mash says, Foodie Beauty, therapy won't work unless you're honest. 1 lie, 2 lie, 3 lies, 4. She's a victim forevermore. Stop lying like a rug. I'm not going down your dark desert manipulation highway. Keep replacing everyone and everything. Flee from responsibility. You, is it Fane? Belle, you are not. You know, therapy is as helpful as you want it to be. If you're effing around in therapy, it's not going to do any good. If you're effing around and you refuse to be truthful, what is the point in going? Why make the appointments? You're taking up appointments in time that other people could be using to actually get better, people who want to get better, versus someone like yourself that you don't want to get better. You're wasting people's time. And that's something that Chantal's done a lot. She's wasted the time of hospitals, healthcare professionals, nurses, doctors, programs, everybody, because she doesn't want to get better. She does everything for attention, not because she truly wants to heal. Yup says, Foodie Beauty only went to see that therapist for validation for everything she's doing. Someone to smile and nod, not to actually diagnose or treat. So I did watch part of the video, like a little bit of it. And she talked to her therapist about Kuwait, about going back to Kuwait. Like, that is the last thing you should be thinking about, Chantal. You got so many other things that you need to be worried about, and you don't care. I just want to go back to Kuwait. But you shouldn't go, and you know it, for a lot of reasons. Okay, something positive from Punch Cat. Look at the baby. That looks like Blackie when I go outside. Like, she loves the head scritches. She loves the head scritches. She likes the chin scritches. She likes her scritches. And she looks just like that when I'm scritching her. She's like, oh, I like the affection. Give me more. Okay, Mrs. Floopa Booty says, therapy is a waste if you're a delusional narcissist manipulator. If you live hidden behind filters and lies and just sit and make up BS to your therapist to be coddled, you're wasting their time. Someone else could have benefited from that appointment. Agreed. Like, why take up somebody's time if it's not going to be spent wisely? Might as well just not go. Maybe she went to therapy because people in her chat keep telling her, you need therapy. You need to go to counseling. Even the reactors have said that to her. Go to therapy. Go to counseling. Go to inpatient. Get yourself straight. We're supposed to be the haters, right? But yet we're the ones over here saying, Chantal, you're really sick. You need to go to therapy. You need to take care of yourself. We're saying that. And there are people in her own chat. They're the ones talking about food with her. They are the ones knowing that she's a food addict. And they insist on talking about food with her. So who's the true haters? I ask you. Someone who doesn't encourage an addict in their addiction, or someone who does? I'll leave that for you to decide. Moving on to Ren. I love, these are pens. A set of pens. I need these pens in my life. You got Mother Trucking Monday, Throat Punch Tuesday, Wish a Biatch Would Wednesday, Thunder Blank Thursday, F Off It's Friday, Poop Show Saturday, Suck a Blank Sunday. I love that. Where is this pen set, and where can I get a set of those pens? Because I'm a writer. I would love to have those pens. Okay, Small Silly Cat. Look at the baby. It's like, I was nice and comfy in your slipper. Why did you take me out? I'm going to go back to bed. I'm going back to bed now. Don't disturb me. Yeah. Judge Judy says, Foodie Beauty. Beach, you couldn't handle being called out online. I can see your face-to-face in a revert group. You're not going to make it in a week in one. You to be arrogant, bossy, and a know-it-all. This nonsense of yours just keeps getting worse. Oh, and one time a visit is not therapy. It is a one-time visit. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. I love this shirt. Anybody who grew up with Dr. Seuss, then you guys remember the story Green Eggs and Ham. So this shirt was made with the theme of Green Eggs and Ham. It says, Coq Fontal. I do not like your lying ways. I do not like your gluttony days. I do not like your fake modest dress. I do not like you. You're a freaking mess. I love that. I love that. That's so great. Great t-shirt. Okay, now here's something that's kind of eye-opening. And Chantal, I know you watch my video, so you might want to look at this picture, ma'am. This might be eye-opening for you. Let me just blow this all the way up because she needs to see it. Everybody needs to see it. Okay, what are we looking at? So here is from 2023 on the top left. On the right is 2024. So that by itself is shocking enough. But let's go down here to the bottom left and the bottom right. Someone also took the time to take both pictures and superimpose one over the other. So the past Chantal in front of the past Chantal in front of the present Chantal. So look at the bottom right picture. Are you going to tell me, Chantal, that after going to Kuwait, you didn't gain much weight? There is a big difference between this person here and this person right here. When I saw this picture, I thought it was like a black shadow behind her, like she was casting a shadow or something. But no, this is this picture right here, down here, and this picture right here, put in front of it. That is a big, big, big difference, Chantal. Big difference. In my opinion, you are rocking about 550 pounds. I think you're about 550 or higher. Hence the reason why you're having so much trouble breathing and moving in your mobility. You're close to 600 pounds. And that was courtesy of 4F Beauty and Lifestyle and Wonder Mom. Let's see. Oh, and DX, Pete, giving us a bit of a recap for the blog, saying, the woman talking crap about Yetis and Stanley Cups shows off her Yeti and tells us how much she loves it. Yeah, because Chantal was like, I don't understand the trend of why people were buying all those Stanley Cups. You know what? I don't either. I didn't see what the big deal was about like a thermal cup, but people went wild for it. But it's interesting that she put down people with tumblers, and there she is with her Yeti cup. Someone filmed Chantal eating at a table. We don't get to see who. That's interesting. I guess we'll check that out in the vlog. Wonder Mom says there is absolutely no movement with Foodie Beauty's head possible. She can't look down because of the chins. She can't look up because of the fat on the back of her head. She can't turn her head because of the fat on her shoulders. And let's not even get started with the rest of her body. No lies detected. You know, when I was watching Chantal back in the day, before she put on the abaya, before she put on the hijab, I could tell when she was gaining weight. Because remember when she started that whole arm wiggle thing? Like she would stick out one arm and wiggle it and do the ready, set, bees. Like in the beginning when she started doing that, she had a lot of loose skin hanging on the bottom of her arm. And then as she started to put on more weight, that started to fill out and get thick and swollen. Also, another tell, as she gained weight, you could see less of her ears. Another tell, I remember when she had like a bit of a roll of fat on the back of her head, on the back of her skull. But as she gained more and more weight, that roll got bigger and bigger to the point where it took up half of her skull in the back. And there's no telling what it looks like now. So there were definite tells that she was gaining a tremendous amount of weight. A tremendous amount. Like there's no telling what everything looks like now, but yeah, I believe it. Like she can't really move her head. She can't turn her head. And it makes me wonder, is it safe for her to drive like that? I wonder. Okay, so we've already covered that. So we're going to cut that off here. We're all caught up. and let's get on to the actual vlog itself, okay? All right. And I'm sorry about the sunlight behind me. It's just in the perfect position. It's driving me nuts. It's just too bright. But let's get to, shall we? More music, really? You know, you would think somebody who spent 2 years in Kuwait would have a plethora of stories to tell and observations about how things are different in Kuwait versus the United States or Canada, as it were. Like, she would have so many things to talk about. Most people who go abroad, they've got things to talk about. They've got memories, they've got stories, they've got points of view. She doesn't have anything. And this is so lazy, Chantal. This is so incredibly lazy. You made a vlog that only went for like less than 11 minutes. And around the 7-minute mark, that's when you clipped it and you played the old footage. You want to make it just long enough to get those ads on there. How long does it take to make and edit a fresh vlog for 10 minutes? I mean, 10 minutes is nothing. Why are you being so lazy these days, for real? I mean, I could sit there and make an ambiance video for an hour and put the whole thing together from scratch. I got to sit there and put all the clips together and the sound bites together and try to make it match and fix the coloration and stretch the clip out to an hour and then download the whole thing and then upload the whole thing and wait for it to process. I can go through all of that for a video, but you act like making a 10-minute video and 11-minute video is just too much work. Girl, if you can't even make a 10-minute video, if it's too hard for you, you wouldn't make it in the real world. You really wouldn't. Are we done with the driving footage? Like, why is this even here? This is not a driving vlog. Those are really popular. There are driving vlogs and there's no talking. It's just driving in the rain and stuff, and people love those. But that's not what this is. So why are you treating it as such, Chantal?
That we can have a day together. We're gonna go have lunch and do some errands.
And I'm just going to point this out, Miss. I am so broke. Anything you guys can send me. Y'all are going out to eat. Who's paying for the meal? Your YouTube payday isn't here yet. As I understand it, because you are Canadian, it's going to take a couple of extra days to get paid. So how are you getting all this money to go out to eat, Chantal? Is Aunt Phyllis paying for it? Is Pete's paying for it? I don't know who's with you, but you don't have the money in hand unless you do. Did your feedies pay for this? Remember, you're broke. You were so broke that you were begging your beaters for money. Yet you've been going out to eat a lot.
Shopping, and then I have a...
And again, if you're broke, you can't be shopping. That's shopping nonsense. You can't do it.
Therapy appointment in the afternoon. So yeah, it's going to be a full day for me. It is quite rainy, which is kind of disappointing because we wanted to go on a nature walk. So yeah.
I love how she describes her full day. What a joke. Oh, it's a full day for me. Let me give you a reality check, Chantal. Your full day is basically what would be a relaxing day for anybody else. There are lots of other people that work harder than you, longer than you. They get up in the morning, early in the morning, get out of bed, get a cup of coffee, maybe, get a couple of bites to eat, get in their car, get in that morning traffic. They're there for like half an hour, get to work. They're there for like 9-10 hours. Get off of work exhausted, go home, have to make some dinner, maybe take care of the kids, maybe clean the house. And they might get 15 minutes before bed to watch something on TV before they pass out and then wake up and do it all over again. You have the nerve to complain about your day. Oh, I had a full day. What was your day? You got to go out, eat a meal, you got to go shopping, and you allegedly went to therapy. You didn't have a hard day at all. And I had to film a vlog. 10 minutes. Really? 10 minutes. Like, you're not as busy as you think you are.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. But anyways, yeah, so come along with me again today in this vlog. Yes, let's go, yellow. So, another birthday gift. I got a pink Yeti. So yeah, because...
You know, Chantal, this is just off the top of my head. Are you trying to get a sponsorship or something with Yeti? Is that why you're making a point to hold it up and show the brand? Like, are you hoping that by showing the cup in the vlog that they will sponsor you? I'm just thinking off the top of my head, y'all. I could be completely off base. Maybe I am. But in the past, Chantal did have a sponsorship with Coldest Water Bottle, and she screwed that up royally. She's the only person in history that got fired from Coldest Water Bottle twice. And when they let her go, she wasn't graceful about it. She was nasty. She put down the company. Oh, this thing is overpriced. You know, people who act like that, they have a hard time getting sponsorship deals afterward because, you know, you're acting all unprofessional. But it's weird how you're making a point to say, oh, I've got my Yeti cup, holding it up. Chantal, you got a bad reputation. Horrible. No brand is going to touch you. No brand worth the hard work they put into making a name is going to touch you. Nobody wants you representing their company, their service, or their work. So forget it. If that's for the attention, just stop it.
I like Yeti, and I used to have a blue one that was a gift also from a Beezer. And yeah, I love this color. So it keeps my water cold when I'm out driving around the whole time. By the way,
yeah, that kind of sounded like a sales pitch, didn't it? Oh, I have it and it keeps my water cold the whole time. You're trying something over there. You're trying to get a sponsorship, girl.
can easily get an international driver's license or driver's license over there in Kuwait, but it's not the same as driving here. So no, I don't really enjoy driving over there, you know, so I'm gonna be a passenger princess when I'm there. So yeah. Hi guys. So we are eating at a vegetarian restaurant today. It is actually quite a delicious place. I've eaten here before. Here's a glimpse at their menu or part of it.
Yeah, okay, let's look at this menu. And I know I'm going to keep harping on this, and maybe you guys are going to get mad at me, and I'm sorry. I got to drive this point home, and forgive me if I'm overdoing it. But look, they're in a restaurant. Y'all can see the menu. There's a clear shot. So, you know, like you got the quesadillas, and you've got the chips. Just one thing is like $20. And you know that Chantal ordered more than one thing. So, Miss I'm so broke, send your money. Like, going to a restaurant like she's got money in hand.
They give you a pitcher of nice cold water to drink while you are there. So my aunt wanted to show
that she had the soup of the day, which was tomato and lentil, had a falafel sandwich on gluten-free bread. She loves it. And I had a pad thai, though it's not like traditional pad thai, but it's like noodles with like a peanut kind of sauce with vegetables. It was actually really good. I thought this display at the tattoo place next door really cool. All right, time for my therapy appointment. I'm just waiting in the waiting room now.
Well, that was a weird transition, wasn't it? So, like, she went out to eat. She noticed that she made sure to show the food first. Like, still catering to the freaking feedy people. Like, I always got to include the food somewhere, and I got to show that first. And everything else in the vlog is just, it's insignificant. It's just smoke and mirrors so that YouTube won't get on my case and yellow dollars on my video. That's why she's structuring it that way. She wants to be able to do her mukbangs and do her food content and do the smoke and mirror thing, smoke and mirrors thing with YouTube, so that they won't get on her case. She can look at YouTube and go, "Oh, this isn't really a mukbang, or this is not, content that has to do with a problem with food. Oh, look, I'm doing a restaurant review and I'm showcasing all these products, blah blah blah." Smoke and mirrors. She wants to be able to do what she wants to do and get away with it. So she has to mix in different things with the content that she wants to do to get away with it on YouTube.
Hey guys, so I just finished at my therapy. Um, Now, granted, when I made the appointment, I told them I was planning on making this an ongoing effort to address my mental health, because I was planning on staying here. So then the main focus of this session, and the therapist was very on point, you know, just by little things I would tell her about my story, like recent story, sort of the past 2 years.
Your recent story. How about talking about your life? Sometimes it's not what you think, it's how you think of it that matters. You think of everything in terms of YouTube and content and story arcs and characters. You look at your life as a TV show. You don't even live in reality. Hence the reason why you have so many problems. Once upon a time there was a Chantal Marie, but you gave that person up to live in the character Foodie Beauty. You lost touch with yourself. You lost the plot by creating a character and living in the shoes of a character versus being a person. So if you're going to a therapist and you're telling a story, a one-sided story, and you're not being truthful, you might as well just not go.
She talked about grief, grieving things that I still haven't really grieved. Parts of me who I was. Not necessarily a bad thing, grieving, but sometimes when there's change, whether it's good or bad, you grieve parts of things that are changing. But it was.
You know what? I could tell, I know it's a first time, and going to a therapist for the first time, if you go, it is an assessment, and the therapist, they don't know enough yet. They haven't seen you enough yet. They haven't talked to you enough yet to really get down to the nitty gritty. Strip down your soul and get down to the brass tacks of what is wrong and how to give you those answers that you may be seeking, but you're afraid to hear. But if Chantal went for her assessment and she absolutely lied, she's not going to be that upset. But if she went and she even bared a little bit of her soul to this person, she should be tore up right about now, and she's not.
It's nice to have my feelings validated, especially since I don't know anybody really who understands me wanting to go back to Kuwait.
Of all the things to talk about in a therapy session, you want to talk to your therapist about going back to Kuwait. Why? You're still concerned about Salah. Chantal, He was fine before you met him. He's a grown man. He's not a teenager. He's not a toddler. He's a 30-something-year-old man. And he's not alone in Kuwait. He's got family. He's got friends. He's got a whole slew of people that he can go talk to and lean on. I'm sure without you, he'll be fine. Maybe he won't live an easy life like he's been doing off your dime, but he'll be okay. He's not going to be out on the street destitute. He's got far too many people over there that can help him out. As a matter of fact, if you don't go back, like if he just weans himself off of your YouTube nipple, stop sucking off of it, he'll be okay. He'll remember what life was like before you. He'll remember he had to be independent and do his own thing and make his own money. He can find his independence again. Being around you, he's forgotten how to have that, and he needs to remember what that's like. As long as you're around him, enabling him, he ain't gonna find it. So don't worry about him. His health is okay. Your health is not okay. You need to worry about you. Or not. I mean, it's your life. But I know I'm sick to death of you coming online and complaining about your health and doing absolutely nothing about it. I'm like, if you're not going to do something about it, stop complaining. Seriously, just stop. Cut it out.
But this therapist did. And she gave me a lot of reasons why I would want to go back there based on what I told her. And
what are you trying to, like, why are you involving this therapist in this thing? They're trying to help you. And all you care about is, I want to go back to Kuwait. Girl, you're stupid. You've got so many deep, dark issues you need to work out. Forget about Kuwait for a while. You don't need to be flying. You got a lot of issues, Chantal. It's a tangled ball of yarn there that needs to be untangled. Stop thinking about Salah.
We were validated. And they also came up with a lot of resources for me to have access to healthcare remotely.
You sound, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you are determined to suck off whatever system you can. Just leech off of any system you can find. Rather than stand up on your own and pay your own way, which you could easily do because you have a YouTube channel, Miss 100K channel, Miss YouTube silver play button plaque. You can pay your own bills. You can pay your own way. Certain programs are made for people who don't have as much money. They're not meant for people like you. And you know this. I think it's horrible that no matter where you go, you're always looking for programs and systems that you could take advantage of. If there's free healthcare, even though you could pay for your own healthcare, you'll take the free healthcare just so you can have enough money to do your mukbangs. You're always like, you went over to Kuwait, you were going to food banks and taking food from people that really belong to those who were less fortunate, not to someone like you that you've got money and you don't need to take that food, but you'll do it anyway just because you can. I mean, you're such a terrible, terrible leech. If you want the healthcare in Canada, you have to stay in Canada. You can't have the healthcare in Canada and go to Kuwait and use it, and then Canada is billed. That's just how it works.
There's some binge eating program resources.
Ma'am, you need to go to inpatient for that. I'm sorry. Like, no shade on any program or any service that helps with that. I'm sure they do great work, but Chantal's an extreme case and she needs inpatient. And this is coming from somebody who's gone through it. I'm looking at her. I've been watching her. She is an extreme case. She would need a team of people helping her to be the control that she doesn't have. Because you leave her alone, she's going to lose control.
Addiction services and the adult mental health program, which is like covered by OHIP. It's like a 1.5 year wait. So for like one counseling. So we'll just see.
Well, I have to wonder if maybe she and Salah talked And maybe Salah is tired of her crap. He's tired of her flipping out. He's tired of her temper tantrums. He's tired of her, like, all of the out of control eating. And maybe he's at the end of his rope and saying, hey, you need to get help for all these things or we are done. And maybe that's why she's doing it. You know, she's throwing him and her beaters a bone and saying, oh, look, I am taking care of myself. Well, don't get excited yet, Beezers. Don't get excited yet, Salah, because she has a pattern of starting something, but she doesn't stick with it. Basically, this what she's doing right now, in my opinion, is it's her way of saying, okay, I'll go to therapy. Gosh. You know, insert eye roll. Just to make everybody shut up. That's why she's doing it. Not because she really wants to, not because she's admitting she needs help, just to make everybody be quiet for 5 minutes.
I have some resources. They also suggested help me pick out resources in Kuwait so that we'll have access to some resources there, which there are community centers, but they're Islamic, you know? So they made a good point that a lot of it is perspective, which makes sense. And, you know, being a revert, you know, they suggested finding other revert expat groups that might be support.
You know, nothing against those groups. I'm sure they're great. But Chantal, you don't like to be around people, period. And I just can't see you being around anyone where you openly admit, I have a problem. I have an addiction. I have an obsession. And there are messy layers that go with that. I have a YouTube channel where I indulge in the object of my addiction and I get paid for it. And I have people that back me up on it. Like, there's a lot of very complex, messy layers here. Like, your case of what's going on with you is going to be very unique. And on top of that, you're a liar and a manipulator, and you're not going to tell people the truth. So I don't think anybody could help you. You're not ready for help. You haven't reached the point where you're hitting the wall and saying, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm done and I can't go any further. I'm looking into your eyes. You have not hit that wall yet. And until you do, nothing and no one can help you. Even if Dr. Now were standing in front of you saying, I'll admit you for free. We got a bed already set up for you. Let's go. You're not ready. All you would be doing if you took help like that is just wasting everybody's time. You're not ready to really take the help and make it matter. You take the help to waste it. And you take it from other people that really need it and want it and would benefit from it.
So they also started, I told them, you know, socializing. I isolate a lot because socializing, getting out there is kind of overwhelming when I'm feeling, you know, down. So they suggested just going out in public without socializing. So just going out more. So there's things I have that I have.
You know, and that's really sad, Chantal, because remember all the way back. Go all the way. Let's go in the time machine for a minute. Do you remember the beginning of your channel? The very beginning, before you got monetized. How you were, how you looked, the energy you had. You were going out, you were doing things, you were doing video game playthroughs, you were doing shopping hauls and makeup looks and going out with your grandma. I mean, you were much more active. You could be much more active. And then, like the big, stupid, dumb idiot that you are, you got wrapped around food and you rode the mukbang train all the way to monetization, and you got greedy for money. You traded your health for a paycheck, and now you have no health left. Not a single shred of it. But once upon a time, you were active. You were not embarrassed to be out in public. You could go out walking alone and you weren't scared about something happening to you. You didn't have to have somebody around acting as your caretaker. Now you're at a place where you cannot be alone. It would be dangerous for you. And you did that to yourself. You did it to yourself, Chantal.
To work on, but I feel more confident having gone through this session. It's definitely not a waste of time. And they're one phone call away if I ever need another one.
They're one phone call away if I need if you need another one. If Girl, you got so many issues. Of course you need another one. You should have scheduled another therapy session as soon as the first one ended. You should have a date already penciled in the next time to show up. Right then and there. Walking up to that therapist and saying, when can I see you again? When is the earliest time that I could see you? Just tell me when I can come back and we can get this started. That would have showed progress. That would have showed that you want to get better, that you're tired of being sick, that you're admitting you've got issues. You know what's effed up, Chantal, is that your idea of strength is keeping on a fake, phony, brave face in front of everybody on YouTube. It's so important to you to put on this fake, phony mask in front of girl world. Just pretending like everything's fine. I don't have any problems. I'm healthy. My husband loves me. Maybe it's because you're 40 and I'm 53. You know, I've got some years on you. But if you want to know what real strength is, here, let me enlighten you just a little bit. Even though you don't deserve it, I'll do you a solid and I'll pass along some older woman wisdom that obviously you don't have. Strength comes from knowing yourself, facing yourself, having that inner dialogue with yourself, living in truth versus lies. You can find strength in the person that they drop all of the pretenses and pretension and the masks, and they just strip themselves down bare and say, this is who I am. The person who cries is a strong person because they're admitting that there's something wrong and they just got to let it out. It's good to let things out. You're showing strength when you say to the world, I have a problem. I need help. I don't have all the answers. Or something is out of my control and I don't know how to fix it. Can somebody please help me? These are signs of strength. You're not showing weakness. You're showing strength. Weakness is when you pretend that you're strong when you're not. When you pretend that you have all the answers when you don't, and you won't reach out your hand and get the answers you need to better yourself. Your strength is not your strength. It's just your ego. And your ego is doing so much damage to you. It's stopping you from being happy. It's stopping you from growing. It's stopping you from enlightenment. It's stopping you from being on the right path. Because right now you're on the wrong one. You need to get on it. I think the spiritual world is losing its patience with you to the point where it's looking at you and saying, hey, we've been patient with you. We've been so patient, but you refuse to let go of something that is hurting you, that makes no sense. So to make you, we got to break you. We got to break you down. We got to break down this false mask you've been wearing. We got to smash it. We got to pull down this world of fairy tales and delusion that you've built and rebuild everything from the ground up. You put yourself in a false tower of lies and they're coming down, aren't they? Why do you think that is? Because it's not truth. Lies are always shaky. And that tower is built on quicksand and eventually you sink. And you've been sinking, haven't you? So yeah, it's time to get real. Time to understand what real strength looks like. Admitting that you're human and you have a soul and you don't know everything and you've got imperfections and flaws and you make mistakes, that is a show of true strength. That is strength, Chantal. It takes strength to admit when you're wrong, you've done wrong, you don't know everything. It takes strength. And that is the lesson that I have to offer you.
Whenever I need it. So, yeah, that's my therapy update. Actually, soup's out here. It's rainy, gloomy, but I love it. I love getting fresh air.
And this was the part that threw me. like, okay, so the vlog, the current vlog is 7 minutes 21 seconds. She can't monetize it, it's that short. So she decided to take old footage, is 2 years old, and tack it on at the end to make it just long enough for monetization. Tell me you're broke without telling me you're broke, Chantal. Like, why would you recycle 2-year-old footage? For what purpose and what reason, and how is it relevant?
Hey guys, so I am.
But you know what? Like I said, I'm glad you did this. I am so glad. Why? Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so here is Chantal from 2 years ago. Let's blow this sucker up. There you go, y'all. There's a Chantal 2 years ago. Her first trip to Kuwait. Who's that? Who's this person? Who is that? 2 years later, who's that? That's the Chantal now versus the Chantal of what used to be.
Super excited. I'm waiting for the bus. I took a taxi to this location. The easiest, fastest way, like he is on 4. So for me to take the airport is by bus. I have to take an airplane in Montreal airport. So I'm going to take a shuttle bus from Ottawa to Montreal, and I'm going to take it from the University of Ottawa express bus. And this, so for Qatar Airways.
Y'all take a look at her right here. This was over 2 years ago. The way she's walking through that airport, she didn't have as much weight on her, and she's not huffing and puffing as much as she does now. She's not huffing and puffing like she does now.
Let's go. Oh, how Canadian. So I'm not going to eat on the, I'm going to probably eat on the plane. We get
back in the day when her hand still looked like a hand.
Meals on the plane, but I'm about to go through security. So I'm having water and mango juice at the side of the check.
You know, Chantal, like you put this vlog together. I don't know if you watch your own stuff, but you need to watch this one. And really just look at yourself, how you look now, how you sound now versus 2 years ago. It is shocking.
Okay.
There is such a definite difference between then and now. When you flew to Kuwait for the first time, you did not need 2 seats, mama. You did not need 2 seats. You were just fine in one. Anymore, you need 2. What a difference 2 years can make on a person.
And an orange juice. Good.
So, like, she's going to get to the airport. Here we go. Okay, we're going to turn off that awful music. So, like, I don't know who's coming down the escalator. Is it Salah? So there's Chantal at the very back. And like I said, I think she fat-fished him to the extreme. That the only time she talked to him was when she had her filters turned to max level. And she did like the fake filtered pictures and videos. And she made sure to give up the villa, give up Pete's, give up the cats. Put him and her in a position where even if he wanted to send her home, he couldn't. Just turning the tables on the romance scammer. Like, you're talking to me and now you're stuck with me. And she's walking through this airport thinking, sucker, gotcha. And she's laughing because this is the moment where she can't hide it anymore. She knows he's going to see her for what she really looks like. She's laughing. She's like, I got him. I got him. He can't get rid of me now. She thinks it's funny. She thinks it's absolutely funny. So that's it for the vlog. Hope you guys have enjoyed the react. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.